Jason Rzucidlo reporting for AmericaJR.com, and I'm being joined by Hollywood actor Austin Basis. Please tell me how you got started in the acting business.
It's a long, semi-boring story, but, growing up, I always felt comfortable entertaining people, making people laugh, dressing up. I had a, costume chest growing up where I would just, buy costumes all year round and collect past year's Halloween costumes. And, there was always a thing when people would come over to the house, there was always a costume chest, whether it was a cape or a mask or a wig or funny glasses, and I would inherit all my parents' old clothes, old makeup bags, all that stuff. So it kind of started there and, took off to plays and musicals growing up and got more serious about it in college. And decided to go to grad school, went to the Actors Studio Drama School, and then, once you commit, I feel like once you commit to pay for specific training and spend 3 years and then, kind of several years after that paying off your student loan and the debt you've accrued, it's a commitment that, you're kind of in for the long haul and forced to follow through on. And luckily, I've, been on the lucky side of that, gotten the privilege of being able to get paid for, doing what I love to do.
Yeah, congratulations on that.
Fun. Thank you.
All right, now I understand your latest project is Beauty and the Beast.
Well, Beauty and the Beast is in its fourth and final season. It's a show on the CW. It actually plays in, multiple markets around the world, which is probably why we stay on the air so long, and we have a great fan base. The premise of the show is, it's kind of a spin on the Beauty and the Beast fairy tale, but more closely associated with the 1980s TV show called Beauty and the Beast with Ron Perlman and Linda Hamilton. And it's kind of a modern day twist on that, with elements of, sci-fi, romance, obviously at the core of it, action, very dramatic, but also, comedic elements that, my character, J.T. Forbes, provides the show. They've included other characters in the comic relief category, but for the most of the 4 years, JT has been, I've been lucky enough to get a lot of the good punchlines. But yeah, so it's in its final season. We have about 7 more episodes left in, the series. And, it's exciting. It's all coming to a conclusion within the next couple months. And, the fans are loving the season and looking forward to see how this story ends that they kind of got swept away by 4 years ago.
Yeah. Now, as you stated, you played J.T. Forbes. Can you tell me more about your character and what you do?
Yeah, J.T. Forbes is at this point, former biochemistry professor / hacker, genius, nerd that is the best friend to our Beast, who's Vincent. For years, JT helped keep Vincent off the grid, helped him deal with his being a beast, and he acts as the confidant, the voice of reason, the kind of realist, pessimist, cynic in a time of, in a group of, somewhat blind optimists. And so he's not afraid of rattling some cages and speaking truth and harsh truth. And also in a very sarcastic, funny way. It's oftentimes, it's, I think it's the only way his message will be digested if he kind of adds a little sarcasm to it. And so he is, his character, JC, is over the course of the series gone from a kind of neurotic kind of introvert, and not really a recluse, but he's living with Vincent in season one. But that neurotic introvert into opening himself up to being a little more open and heroic and personable, and stepping into the man that he is born to be. And this is kind of brings me to what he's challenged with this final season. He's trying to figure out where he belongs in this world, what he's put on this earth to do, what's his greater purpose in life, and he's on the path to figure that out. As we speak in the middle of the season.
All right, very good. Now, how would you say this series, Beauty and the Beast, is similar or different from some of your past works?
Well, I would say it's similar in that my previous show, Life Unexpected, had a small, very cult-like core following. Although it was kind of about, family and kind of love and people coming together to make up for wrongs of the past. I think the Beauty and the Beast differs in that it's the first show in a greater sense that I've really had to constantly deal with kind of supernatural and mythological and sci-fi themes that don't necessarily have a basis in reality. So as an actor, it's a constant struggle or effort to create real life substitutions and real life stakes for what is at risk in each scene. When you talk about beasts don't exist in our world, so you have to think about it in a very specific way about something that, as an actor or a person relates to your life, and, that's how I work as an actor. So I think that has been an interesting challenge, whether it's, the certain sci-fi stuff. I try to ground everything I do in reality, and even sometimes when I've gotten a script that somehow seems a little illogical in its basis in reality, because there's some gray area in between. I kind of maybe prefer to petition some things to be as accurate as possible, whether it's medical stuff, scientific stuff, hacking stuff. I just want it to be, other than the fact that a lot of the stuff is set up, like, my character hacks through systems that, most people would take, weeks. He does it in a couple hours or a couple minutes. Sometimes with the medical stuff, DNA analysis takes a couple weeks. He does it in hours, seconds, not seconds, minutes, days. And so that's been, kind of like the biggest, difference. But, I do, in a way, because of being miss my comedy roots. I did improv and sketch comedy in New York out of school. I went to, acting school, but out of school, I really dove into, a little more of the comedy world. And in New York City, and for 2 or 3 years, I was doing sketch comedy, improv comedy, and I thought that my future would be in sitcoms and in, comedy TV. But you know, 10 years, 15 years later, I find myself on dramas and although I did do a Curb Your Enthusiasm, which is totally different and was all improv, which was fun too. There's no script; it's just you make it up as you go, based on a certain scenario. So that was fun, and obviously this show is a little more written in stone and there's a script, and because of this, special effects and the stunts and all that stuff, you have to factor that in and work under those conditions that take a little longer to do a certain a special effect element or a visual effect, or even a stunt. There's stunt people that come in, they do, it's a very carefully choreographed thing. With Curb Your Enthusiasm was kind of like, let's try this, let's try that, throw it out there, see what fits.
Now, what was the average work week like for you? You receive a script on a Monday and then you shoot on a Friday, or what was the average work week like?
In the first season, it was more like 14 or 15 hours days, and at night, because a lot of the show took place at night. So I have to start shooting in the afternoon, and by the time you get to Friday, you're shooting on Saturday morning until it comes out light. So, we shot 8-day schedule. So if you think about 5 days, Monday through Friday, you go into the next week until Wednesday. You finish one episode on a Wednesday, and then you start the next episode on a Thursday.
Oh.
So that's always a difficult transition. When you happen to finish on a Friday, it's always nice because you have the weekend to look at the next script. But a lot of times you're finishing up the script or an episode, and you're looking at the next episode and the couple of days you have left on the weekend to prepare for that week. So you're almost looking at two episodes at once. And so sometimes while you're doing, you'll get a third episode overlap. So you wind up getting a final script about anywhere from 5 days to the night before an episode. Now, the script comes in various phases, and that's the most difficult thing about TV, I think, or network TV, is the drafts that come out. You get a first draft, the studio draft, and then there are changes made by the network. And so then you get the network draft, and it's a little different. And then based on what needs production has, there's another draft that you usually the shooting script, the beginning shooting script called the production draft. And from there it goes into colors, blue, pink, yellow, green. There's an order that I just never pay attention to, but there's a specific order of colors that the drafts come out in, so everyone can keep track. But you just have to memorize it as it comes. So you memorize the basic script, and then sometimes there are slight changes, and you have to memorize those changes. So it's there's always homework, and when you work a 12, say 15-hour day, 14-hour day, you come home and look over your scenes for the next day, and hope for the best, and continue on. But that's and working in Toronto on Beauty and the Beast. The first 3 seasons we worked mostly in winter, and that was part of it was in winter, and that is obviously difficult because there's a lot of exterior scenes, and it was those 3 winters were exceptionally cold. That polar vortex that hit the Northeast was totally in Toronto at the time that we shot that. So we weren't outside every day, and the writers and producers would and directors would sometimes make the choice to switch something indoors if it was too cold. Like there was one funeral that we were supposed to have that was supposed to be outside at a graveyard, like kind of at the gravesite, and they switched it to inside in kind of a church environment because that day was supposed to be like 30 below or something.
Wow.
So they were kind of like, but I did do scenes outside when it was, the wind chill factor was, it's a little different in Canada because it's Celsius, but 30 or 40 below is still pretty freaking cold.
That's right, yes. Okay, now,
Yeah.
copyright 2016, AmericaJR.com, Detroit, Michigan, USA.